A vault was opened in the Vatican. What was found there? Theories point to hidden archives, lost relics, forbidden secrets. What else are they hiding? Beneath the Vatican, deeper than the archives, past layers of stone and time itself, a hidden vault has been opened. It was sealed so long ago that its existence had become nothing more than a whisper in old texts. The church has said little, only that a routine restoration led to the discovery. Inside, something was found, something significant. A relic? A manuscript that changes history? No clear answers, just silence, guarded statements, and a growing sense that whatever was uncovered is not meant for the world to see. A vault sealed for 5 millennia, now mysteriously opened, yet this is only the beginning. The Vatican's foundation is built on secrets, some buried far deeper than its archives. Beneath the streets of Rome, past the grand halls of St. Peter's Basilica, lies a labyrinth of tunnels stretching beneath the Holy See. Some are mapped, others lead to darkness where few have ever ventured. These corridors have existed since ancient times, carved into the earth long before the Vatican stood. Some claim they were once escape routes for persecuted Christians, others whisper that they were used by the church itself to hide things too dangerous to be seen. There are records of tunnels leading to crypts, hidden chapels, and locked chambers filled with forgotten relics. Some researchers have tried to uncover their secrets, only to be met with resistance. The church rarely speaks of these tunnels, dismissing speculation as myth. But why then have there been reports of sudden excavations, teams entering hidden passageways, removing crates under heavy security? What lies beyond those sealed doors? Is there a connection between these tunnels and the vault that was just opened? No official statements, no confirmations, just questions, and a growing sense that something is shifting beneath the Vatican. Beneath the Vatican, hidden tunnels twist into darkness. Some lead to ancient crypts, others to places where only a select few have ever stepped. But one passage, guarded and closely monitored, leads to the most secretive collection of documents in the world, the Vatican Apostolic Archive. For centuries it was called the Secret Archive, not because of fantasy, but because secrecy is its foundation. Over 50 miles of shelving hold manuscripts, letters, and books that have shaped history, yet remain unseen by the public. Requests for access are met with endless restrictions. Even scholars are allowed only the smallest glimpse, always under strict supervision. What is kept here? There are known records: the excommunication of Martin Luther, letters from Galileo, even correspondence from emperors and kings. But speculation stretches far beyond this. Some believe it holds texts that challenge official church teachings, hidden gospels, lost books of the Bible. Others whisper about suppressed discoveries, maps of lands that should not exist, proof of ancient knowledge that predates the church itself. There are even theories of a locked section where the most dangerous documents are stored. Could it be that something recently discovered, something tied to the opened vault, has made its way here? If so, the world may never know. Yet there is one place even more secretive, one buried so deep beneath the Vatican that it exists in silence. The dead do not speak, but the walls beneath St. Peter's Basilica might hold answers. Beneath the marble floors of St. Peter's Basilica, another world exists. The Vatican Necropolis, an ancient city of the dead, stretches through hidden passageways and forgotten tombs. Unlike the Vatican's archives, where documents are locked away under paper and ink, this place holds something far older. Bones, sarcophagi, relics of those long gone. Officially, it is a sacred burial ground, a historical site where early Christians were laid to rest. But some believe there is more buried here than bodies. This underground city is older than the Vatican itself, dating back to the first centuries of Christianity. At its heart lies what is said to be the tomb of St. Peter, the apostle upon whom the church was built. But whispers tell of deeper chambers, sealed doors that lead to places no one has entered in centuries. Some claim that beneath these tombs, there are forgotten catacombs filled with relics that challenge history. What if there is more than just saints buried here? What if something was hidden long ago, something that ties directly to the secret vault that was just unsealed? Visitors to the necropolis are closely monitored. There are paths you can walk, places you can see, but beyond those corridors there are areas marked off, sections where no tourist, no researcher is allowed. The church says it is for preservation, to protect history. But what if it is to protect something else, something the world is not meant to uncover? The Vatican Necropolis is a place of the past, a city of the dead. But what if the Vatican's deepest secrets are not just about history, but about the future? Among the many strange documents hidden away in the church's archives is one that has fueled speculation for centuries: the prophecy of the popes attributed to Saint Malachy, a 12th century Irish archbishop. According to legend, Malachy had a vision of the future, foreseeing every pope that would ever sit on the throne of St. Peter. His predictions, written down in a cryptic list named 112 popes, each described with a mysterious phrase. The final name on the list, Petrus Romanus, Peter the Roman, the last pope, the one who Malachy predicted would see the church and the world fall into ruin. Many dismiss the prophecy as a fabrication, a medieval hoax. Yet others believe it has been eerily accurate, describing past popes with strange precision. Some even claim the Vatican itself has shaped events to align with the prophecy, ensuring that history unfolds as written. If true, that would mean one thing: we are now at the end of the list. The current Pope, Francis, is the final one before something happens. A collapse, a transformation, a revelation. The Church has spent centuries mapping the heavens, not just spiritually but scientifically. The Vatican operates one of the world's oldest astronomical observatories, and in the modern age it has expanded its reach to advanced telescopes, including the Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope in Arizona. Officially, this is all for the study of planets, stars, and cosmic phenomena. But what if there is another reason? For decades, rumors have swirled that the Vatican holds knowledge about extraterrestrial life, and that they are not just searching for it, but preparing for its disclosure. High-ranking clergy have made cryptic statements over the years, suggesting that the existence of intelligent life beyond Earth would not contradict faith, but would be part of a greater plan. Some Vatican officials have even spoken of baptizing aliens if they were ever to make contact. These statements may seem harmless, but why address a scenario that, officially, is not even a possibility? Theories go even further. Some claim that deep within the Vatican's archives, there are ancient records of celestial visitations, accounts of strange beings appearing before early religious figures. Others believe that secret observatories, beyond the ones we know about, are monitoring something specific, something already here. Could the Church have information about extraterrestrial encounters, covered up for centuries? Could they be waiting for the right moment to reveal the truth? One thing is certain: the Vatican has always known more than it tells. Whether it is prophecy, history, or something beyond our world, the question is the same: what are they hiding and why? The Vatican's connection to the heavens is undeniable. But what if they have also unlocked the past? Among the strangest and most unsettling Vatican-related conspiracies is the chronovvisor, a mysterious device said to have the power to look into history itself. According to reports, this device was secretly developed in the mid-20th century by a group of scientists led by Father Pellegrino Ernetti, a Benedictine monk with deep knowledge of physics and ancient languages. The chronovisor, Ernetti claimed, allowed its users to see and hear past events, as if time itself had been recorded and could be replayed like a film. If such a machine existed, imagine what it could reveal: the crucifixion of Jesus, the lost civilizations of the past, the true origins of human history. But according to legend, the Vatican did not celebrate this discovery. Instead, they confiscated the chronovisor and silenced all discussion of it. Ernetti later retracted his claims, but many believe he was pressured into doing so. Why would the Church suppress such a revolutionary invention? Some say it was destroyed because it was too dangerous, that seeing history unfiltered would unravel the carefully maintained narratives of religion, power, and control. Others believe the device still exists, locked away in the Vatican's archives, accessible only to the highest authorities. If the Church truly possessed such technology, they would hold an unimaginable power, not just over faith but over history itself. And if they can see into the past, what else might they be looking for? The Bible, as we know it, is a collection of sacred texts chosen by the early Church. But not all writings about Jesus made it into the final version. Scattered across history are whispers of lost gospels, scriptures that tell different, sometimes contradictory stories about Christ and his teachings. Some of these, like the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Mary, and the Gospel of Judas, were discovered centuries later, hidden away in the sands of Egypt and other remote locations. But many believe that even more texts exist, ones that remain locked within the Vatican's archives. What could these documents reveal? Some researchers speculate they may contain teachings that challenge the Church's authority. Perhaps Jesus spoke of a more personal, direct connection to the divine, eliminating the need for religious institutions. Others believe certain Gospels describe secret knowledge, messages that only a few were meant to understand. If this were true, it would explain why these texts were either erased from history or hidden away. One of the most controversial theories suggests that the Vatican holds evidence that Jesus' life was not as we've been told, that he may have traveled farther than believed, lived longer, or even had descendants. Some believe that secret societies such as the Knights Templar may have once possessed these forbidden texts, and that the Church went to extreme lengths to ensure they were never revealed. Throughout history, the Vatican has presented itself as a neutral entity, a beacon of faith untouched by the chaos of war. But beneath the surface, its involvement in global conflicts runs far deeper than most realize. During both World War I and World War II, the Church was not just a passive observer. It played a role behind the scenes, negotiating, influencing, and some say, hiding the truth. One of the most controversial aspects of the Vatican's wartime history involves Pope Pius XII, often called the Silent Pope for his reluctance to publicly condemn the atrocities of the German Reich. Some claim his silence was an act of political strategy, an attempt to protect Catholics in occupied territories. Others argue that the Vatican knew far more than it let on and deliberately avoided intervention. There are even theories that the Church assisted in hiding high-ranking Nazi officials after the war, helping them escape justice through secret routes known as the rat lines. What other wartime secrets remain buried in the archives? Were deals made in the shadows, agreements that altered history yet remain undisclosed? And most importantly, does the Vatican still hold influence over global conflicts today? There are those who believe it never stopped. The only difference is that now, its operations are even more hidden than before. The Vatican's power is not just political or historical, it extends into realms few dare to speak of. Deep within its walls are reports that document encounters with something far darker. While many view exorcisms as an outdated ritual, the Vatican does not. It officially recognizes demonic possession, and the Church has its own secretive network of trained exorcists, dispatched to battle forces that, according to them, are very real. Among the Vatican's most closely guarded records are the exorcism files, accounts of cases so disturbing that they were locked away from the public. There are whispers of possessions so violent that even experienced priests refuse to continue. One such case, long rumored to be hidden in Vatican archives, involved a man who, in the final moments of his exorcism, reportedly spoke in languages he had never learned, revealing secrets about the Church that no outsider should have known. Even more chilling are theories about a pact, an agreement made centuries ago, possibly even within the walls of the Vatican itself. Some believe that certain figures in Church history may have struck deals with dark forces in exchange for power and influence. These rumors persist, fueled by reports of high-ranking Vatican officials involved in occult practices, records of rituals performed in secrecy, and ancient texts discussing forbidden knowledge. The Church dismisses these claims as myths, yet it continues to train exorcists, expanding its knowledge of a force it officially acknowledges. What does the Vatican know about evil that the rest of us do not? And why does it continue to guard the truth so closely? Perhaps the answer lies, not in the supernatural, but in the most earthly source of power, money. And if there is one place where mystery and wealth collide, it is within the walls of the Vatican Bank. The Vatican's financial empire is shrouded in secrecy. Officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion, the Vatican Bank is supposed to handle charitable funds, but behind its closed doors, a different story unfolds. One of corruption, missing millions, and suspicious deaths. For decades, the Vatican Bank has been at the center of scandals involving money laundering, mafia ties, and financial cover-ups. One of the most infamous cases is linked to Roberto Calvi, an Italian banker whose connections to the Vatican's finances ended in his mysterious death in 1982. Calvi, sometimes called God's banker, was found hanging from London's Blackfriars Bridge, his pockets stuffed with bricks and cash. His death was ruled a suicide, yet many believe it was a warning, one tied to the billions of dollars that flowed in and out of the Vatican's financial network. More recently, investigations have uncovered millions of dollars in questionable transactions, secret offshore accounts, and Vatican money tied to intelligence agencies and criminal organizations. Even Pope Francis has attempted to reform the system, but each effort is met with resistance. Why? Because those who control the Vatican's wealth control its power. On June 22, 1983, Emanuela Orlandi, a 15-year-old girl whose father worked for the Vatican, vanished without a trace. She had just left a music lesson in Rome, only minutes away from Vatican City, and was never seen again. What should have been a simple missing persons case quickly turned into one of the Vatican's darkest mysteries. For years, conflicting theories have surfaced. Some believe she was kidnapped by a criminal organization, held hostage as part of a deal involving the Vatican Bank's debts. Others suspect she was taken by Vatican insiders, silenced because she had seen or heard something she wasn't supposed to. Then, there are those who claim the church knows exactly what happened, but refuses to speak. In 2019, following intense public pressure, the Vatican allowed investigators to open 2 tombs within its walls. They were empty. More documents were released, but they only raised more questions. What was the Vatican trying to hide? Why were certain officials reluctant to discuss the case? And why, nearly 40 years later, does the Orlandi family still wait for answers? The Ark of the Covenant is one of history's most legendary artifacts, a sacred chest said to have been built under divine instruction, containing the 10 Commandments and carrying an almost supernatural power. According to biblical accounts, it vanished thousands of years ago. Officially, no one knows where it is, but many believe the Vatican does. There have been claims that, over the centuries, the Ark passed through many hands, hidden away from those who sought its power. Some theorists argue that, at some point, it was moved to the Vatican's most secure vaults, where it remains to this day. But why would the Church hide something of such religious significance? Some believe the Ark contains knowledge far beyond what is publicly taught, something that would completely alter humanity's understanding of history. Others claim that the Ark is not just a religious artifact but something much greater, an object of immense energy, capable of things science cannot explain. There are even stories that the Vatican has already used it, that within the Church's highest circles it is known that the Ark's power is real. If so, could this be the true reason behind the Vatican's extreme secrecy? Could the Church be hiding not just a relic but something that defies belief itself? The Vatican holds secrets that stretch across time, from lost gospels to hidden artifacts, from censored files to missing people. And every time a new mystery is uncovered, the same question arises: what else is hidden within its walls? The Vatican is the center of Christianity, yet its corridors are lined with artifacts from civilizations far older than the Church itself. Ancient Egypt, a land of gods, rituals, and powerful rulers, has an undeniable presence within the Vatican's walls. Some of its most treasured artifacts, including mummies, statues, and hieroglyph-covered relics, rest in the Vatican museums. But why has the Church taken such an interest in a civilization known for its belief in multiple gods, elaborate death rituals, and texts filled with knowledge long lost to time? Some believe the answer lies deep in the Vatican's archives, documents that suggest a hidden connection between early Christianity and Egyptian mysticism. It's no secret that early Christian symbols bear an uncanny resemblance to Egyptian motifs. The Vatican remains silent on such connections, dismissing them as coincidences. But then there are the whispers of something more hidden, ancient texts that reveal the lost secrets of Egyptian magic, knowledge that was never meant to be shared. Some theorists suggest that long before the rise of Christianity, Egyptian priests discovered something so powerful that it had to be concealed. Could this be why the Vatican holds on to its Egyptian relics so tightly? Are they mere artifacts, or do they contain knowledge that challenges everything we think we know? If history has been rewritten before, it could happen again. But some mysteries are harder to suppress. One such enigma has been in plain sight for centuries, a single piece of cloth that has defied explanation, raising questions the Vatican refuses to answer. The Shroud of Turin is one of the most mysterious and controversial relics in existence. A 14-foot-long linen cloth bearing the faint image of a man, it is said to be the burial shroud of Jesus Christ himself. The image is eerie, almost photographic, showing wounds that align with those described in the crucifixion. The Vatican acknowledges the existence of the shroud but has never officially declared it authentic. Instead, it remains locked away, only displayed on rare occasions. Why the secrecy? Over the years, scientific tests have only deepened the mystery. Carbon dating in 1988 suggested the cloth was from the Middle Ages, but many experts argue the results were flawed, that the tested fibers were from a later repair, not the original shroud. Some researchers claim the image was not painted or created by any known technique, but instead formed by an unknown burst of energy, possibly radiation. Others insist it is the world's oldest surviving photograph, created by lost technology. But the most unsettling theory? That the Vatican knows exactly what the shroud is, and what it proves. Some believe the cloth holds evidence of knowledge the Church has suppressed for centuries, a secret about Jesus that would change everything. If the shroud is real, why won't the Vatican allow more extensive testing, and if it's a forgery, why protect it so fiercely? The shroud remains one of the greatest religious mysteries of all time. It raises more questions than answers, just like the Vatican itself. And as long as its secrets remain locked away, one thing is certain: the Vatican holds far more than it is willing to reveal. For centuries, the Vatican has stood as a symbol of faith, power, and mystery. It holds archives filled with forbidden texts, vaults containing artifacts lost to history, and secrets that stretch back to the earliest days of civilization. But what if what we know is only the surface? What if the greatest secrets remain buried beneath its walls, locked behind closed doors, hidden in places no outsider has ever seen? Some theorists believe the Vatican holds undiscovered prophecies, texts that predict events still to come: wars, global upheavals, the fall of institutions, and even the arrival of something beyond our world. Others claim the Church possesses proof of ancient civilizations more advanced than we ever imagined. Knowledge so dangerous that it would change everything we believe about history, science, and humanity itself. And then there is the possibility of undisclosed agreements with world powers, quiet deals made in the shadows to protect secrets that must never be revealed. Are there hidden alliances between the Vatican and governments, intelligence agencies, even secret societies? What knowledge do they share? What events have they shaped? The truth may never be fully known. The Vatican guards its past as fiercely as it guards its faith. But one thing is certain: every revelation, every uncovered document, every whispered theory leads to the same question. If this is what we suspect, then what else remains hidden? That's about it. Write in the comments what else you think the Vatican might be hiding. For more useful information, watch other videos.